History remembers battles like Thermopylae, Hastings, and Waterloo, but what about the fights that slipped through the cracks? In 751 AD, on the dusty banks of Central Asia's Talas River, two superpowers collided in a clash so consequential it redirected the flow of knowledge, trade, and power for centuries. Yet today, few even know its name. How did a single battle between the Abbasid Caliphate and China's Tang Dynasty alter the course of civilization? And why was its most important weapon not a sword or arrow, but paper? Part 1. The stage is set. A high-stakes game of empire. The Silk Road wasn't just a route for silk and spices. It was the internet of the ancient world, and control over it meant unimaginable wealth and power. By the mid-8th century, two expansionist giants were on a collision course. The Abbasid Caliphate, fresh from overthrowing the Umayyads and hungry to spread Islam eastward, and China's Tang Dynasty, at the peak of its golden age, pushing west to secure its frontiers. The powder keg. The flashpoint? The Fergana Valley, modern Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. The Tang had already angered local rulers by executing a Turkic ally, while the Abbasids saw an opportunity to weaken China's grip. When the Tang general Gao Xianzi demanded tribute from a client king, the ruler fled to the Abbasids, and the fuse was lit. Key players, humanized. Gao Xianzi, Tang Dynasty. A brilliant but arrogant general who had crushed rebellions from Kashgar to Kabul. His troops, seasoned frontier veterans, relied on deadly crossbow volleys and disciplined infantry squares. Ziyad ibn Salih, Abbasids, a hardened Arab-Persian commander leading a multicultural force of Arab cavalry, Persian spearmen, and Turkic horse archers. His secret weapon? The Karluk Turks, who had a score to settle with the Tang. The Forgotten Army. Among the Tang ranks marched conscripts from as far as Korea and Sogdiana, while the Abbasid forces included warriors from Baghdad, Damascus, and even former Byzantine mercenaries. This wasn't just East versus West. It was a world war of its time. Part 2. The Battle. Betrayal on the banks of the Talas. In July 751, the armies met near Talas. For 5 grueling days, the Tang held firm. Their crossbows mowed down Abbasid cavalry charges, while their armored infantry formed an unbreakable wall. But the Abbasids had a plan, and a traitor in their ranks. The turning point. On the battle's climax, the Karluk Turks, supposed Tang allies, suddenly turned their horses and attacked Gao's flanks. Chaos erupted. The Tang lines shattered. Some fought to the death, others drowned fleeing across the river. Of 30,000 Tang troops, only a few thousand escaped. The prisoners who changed history. Among the Abbasid captives were 2 men history almost forgot. Tang papermakers. In Baghdad, their craft would ignite a revolution. Within decades, paper mills spread across the Islamic world, preserving Greek philosophy, advancing mathematics, and fueling the House of Wisdom. Without Talas, Europe might have waited centuries for the Renaissance. Part 3. The Ripple Effect. How Talas Reshaped the World. The Geopolitical Earthquake. China's Retreat. The Tang Dynasty, reeling from losses at Talas and the Anlushan Rebellion, abandoned Central Asia. Islam would dominate the region for centuries. The Abbasid Boom. With control of the Silk Road's heartland, Baghdad became the world's intellectual capital, while China turned inward. The Hidden Legacy. The Battle of Talas didn't just redraw borders, it redirected human progress. Paper enabled the Quran's mass production, algebra's advancement thanks to al-Khwarizmi, and even the survival of Aristotle's works later translated in Toledo. Meanwhile, China's withdrawal left the steppe open for the Mongols, who, centuries later, would reshape Eurasia all over again. A question for the ages. What if the Karluks hadn't betrayed the Tang? Would Chinese, not Arabic, have been the language of medieval science? Would gunpowder have reached Europe sooner? Talas reminds us, history hinges on moments we barely notice, until their echoes change everything. Final teaser. So the next time you read a book, remember, its pages might trace back to a forgotten riverbank where two empires clashed, and the course of knowledge was decided not by kings, but by prisoners, paper, and pure chance.